Coming up on News Live at 6, a media symposium on campus today focusing on diverse voices in media. Speakers and panelists discuss a wide range of topics during Black History Month.
Plus, one local apple orchard is keeping their doors open during the off-season. Find out how they keep their apples fresh and on the market this time of year.
And Governor Kathy Hochul announcing she'll put more money into AI research. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
We begin tonight with thoughts from students and professionals on diversity in the media during a Newhouse Black History Month symposium today. Welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Mike Lamorte.
And I'm Jake Morel. Our Alex Burstein joins us in studio. Alex, a new Black History Month event started this year at Newhouse. What were attendees presented with?
Yeah, Jake, amidst nationwide calls to end DEI initiatives, Newhouse went all in this year on their Black History Month events, and today possibly the biggest of them all with an afternoon of speakers and conversation.
Right now, we are kind of seeing still characters that lean a more stereotypical.
In an ever-changing field like media, sometimes diversity is left behind. Today, messages of challenges and hope presented as part of Newhouse's first Black History Symposium. Newhouse Associate Director of Recruitment and Diversity, Wes Whiteside, saw the event as a perfect way to showcase new voices.
I wanted to have our students be celebrated in the work that they're doing. And that's why, in particularly with this event, it was our students presenting to their work. 3
presentations and panels were given, including one by Newhouse grad student Asha Breedlove on creating SU's first Black student magazine by grad students.
Panels like this and presentations like this are important for us to keep the culture and keep it going in the social climate that we're in today. Things like this are important for Black creatives and Black narratives to be shown.
In addition to the magazine panel were conversations on television representation and diversity in the sports communications world. 2021 Newhouse grad Deja Johnson came back to speak and found her alma mater more focused on diversity.
I think when we had speakers of color who would come back to campus, it was typically orchestrated kind of as a one-off opportunity.
Throughout the day, tales of lack of diversity across the media landscape, but also reasons for optimism.
Of course, there's still more work to do, but we've come so far. We've came farther than even my grandparents and my generations before me have even been able to access. Like there are people who broke down walls for me to even be here, standing, even interviewing today.
Alex Burstein, Citrus TV News.
Thanks, Alex. Well, new at 6, Syracuse is expanding their Hometown Heroes banner program. Mayor Ben Walsh says after a successful first year, the city will roll out new locations for banners this coming Memorial Day. The program lets loved ones of veterans or active duty members pay for a banner that would feature the ones close to them. Walsh says he is grateful for the program's success and encourages people to, quote, celebrate their loved ones.
The Landmark Theater in Syracuse has asked the state Supreme Court to overturn the city's approval of a new apartment project in Armory Square. The long-running dispute involves the Landmark's need for space to allow large tractor trailers to park in the back entrance. According to the filing, the new apartment building would have an underground parking garage blocking this space. If approved, the building would begin construction later this year.
All right, well, let's take a look at that traffic cam as there's been plenty of I-81 closures throughout this day. We can see that on your screen shortly. There we go.
Oh, there it is, Mike. Hey, looks, at least the snow stopped right there. Every time we get on the traffic cam here, the weather is so uncertain here in central New York that I'm always wondering if it's snowing out there. I feel like at the drop of a hat, we get 1 or 2 inches of snow. So it's nice to see that that's not there. It looks like traffic is moving along swimmingly.
Yeah, obviously you don't see the snow, but that doesn't mean there's not ice on the highway. So you're gonna want to drive carefully. As you can see, some of those cars are racing by, others are driving at a reasonable speed. Make sure you are staying definitely safe on those roads, especially with the ice on them. But let's talk now about I-81. Northbound is now closed to all traffic near Homer after multiple crashes this morning. The lanes were closed just before 9 a.m. after troopers responded to an overturned tractor-trailer crash that involved 13 other cars. This comes after 4 other crashes as well. Lanes heading north will remain closed while emergency crews investigate the crash. The sheriff's office advises drivers to use caution and stay home if able, as lake effect snow may cause poor road visibility conditions.
And a person is in critical condition after a hit and run on the thruway. Troopers arrived on the scene just after 6 a.m. It happened in Salina near exit 37, and 4 vehicles were involved, and a tractor trailer was the one that drove off. 2 people were taken to Upstate University Hospital. One is in critical condition and the other has serious injuries.
All right, Jake. Well, the weather outside, not exactly snowing, but a little chilly out there.
Yeah, still pretty cold. I know it's going to heat up a little bit this weekend. I'm interested to see if maybe some of the snow will melt off the inside of the tires on my car. I can't seem to chip it off of there. But with more is our Teaghan Brostrom. Teaghan, is it going to warm up?
You're right, Jake. It is going to warm up, but for right now, it's still pretty chilly outside. 23 degrees out right now, and however, it does feel like 9, so it's pretty chilly out there, and those wind gusts are making it feel extra chilly. Wind gusts of 13 miles an hour right now, but tonight, those wind gusts are going to pick up. Those partly cloudy conditions are going to stay the same. The temperature is going to drop a little bit to 20 degrees, but that wind is certainly going to make it feel even colder than it already is. And the current temperatures in the region of Syracuse are roughly around the same. We're seeing a high of 24 in Elmira, a low of 18 in Cortland, but right around Syracuse 22, 23. It's roughly the same throughout the area, and it'll be interesting to see how that changes throughout the weekend as well. Back to you guys.
Hey, Jake. Do you like apples?
I love apples.
I'm a big Granny Smith.
How about them apples? Sorry, I had to do that.
I'm a big Granny Smith guy, and if you like apples, well, you don't have to wait to the summer seasons when it's apple picking prime time to get some apples in a basket. Well, our Sophia Braun shows us how one local orchard is making apple season a year-long event.
This is not ideal apple picking weather. For many central New York orchards, cold temperatures cue the seasonal closing of their farms. But Owen Orchards is still open for business.
Yeah, when I first started, it was more seasonal, and now it's 12 months a year.
5 generations of the Tripp family have taken care of this orchard, and preparations for the spring season are just beginning.
But we're talking about next week getting bundled up and going out there. So this time of year, there's 5 of us kicking around to try to keep this place going.
Apples that were picked last fall are kept in cold freezers to be able to survive the winters and still stay fresh to be given to customers.
Some varieties like Evercrisp, Ruby Frost, Snapdragon, they keep better. They're bred to keep better. So we can keep those until summer if we really wanted to.
While the trees are still covered in snow, Owen Orchards is proving that there is still plenty to enjoy at the farm this time of year. Reporting in Weedsport for CitrusTV News, I'm Sophia Braun.
Got me feeling hungry, Sophia. Well, hey, stick with that topic. Are you feeling whimsical, Mike? Because the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester has been named one of the top museums in the country by USA Today. The museum has earned the title of the nation's 2nd best pop culture museum and 3rd best children's museum. The attraction boasts 40 hands-on exhibits, including a ropes course, Hasbro game park, and a National Toy Hall of Fame. That is pretty awesome. Mike, I'm going to need to hear that favorite toy growing up.
Ah, man, it was Nerf. It was Nerf.
Oh, it's Nerf or nothing.
Nerf or nothing, exactly. Well, a new U.S. Census data from 2023 reveals Syracuse ranked 17th in the nation for rate of households receiving food stamps. Nearly 30% of the city receives assistance through the government program, which is about 17,800 households. Other upstate cities included on the list are Buffalo, ranking number 14, and Rochester, ranking number 9.
New York State is allotting $970,000 in grants to fund fair housing programs. New York Attorney General Letitia James says this aims to support and expand fair housing testing and enforcement in the capital region. The Federal Fair Housing Act and New York State human rights law make it illegal for housing providers and lenders to discriminate against clients. The grant will go to the United Tenants of Albany and the Fair Housing Justice Center. The two groups will develop and launch the region's first fair housing program, with the grant set to fund the new program over the next 2 years.
Well, sticking with funding here, more funding is being given to artificial intelligence development right here in the state of New York. Governor Hochul announced a $90 million plan earlier today to expand Empire AI. The new funding will widen access to the AI supercomputer for researchers in addition to advancing overall development. Empire AI is currently at the University of Buffalo and is used for a variety of research, including climate, medical, and educational programs.
Governor Kathy Hochul says state landmarks will be lit orange tonight in honor of children who died in Hamas captivity. There are 14 landmarks included, one being the state fairgrounds right here in Syracuse. Most of the others are in Albany and New York City. In her announcement, Hochul demanded that Hamas return the remains of the children's mother to Israel. And 10 correctional officers are facing charges after the fatal beating of Utica inmate Robert Brooks. 6 of the officers are now facing second-degree murder charges after the indictment was unsealed yesterday. 9 of the 10 officers appeared in court yesterday, all pleading not guilty. Their names have been released.
Nicholas Anzalone, Anthony Farina, Matthew Gallagher, David Kingsley, Christopher Warrath, are being charged with murder. Michael Fisher, Michael Mershaw, and David Walters are charged with manslaughter, while Nicholas Gentile is charged with tampering with evidence. Their next court hearing is scheduled for March 31st.
And 2 more suspects are in custody today for the killing of Sam Nordquist. New York State Police charged Kimberly Socia and Thomas Eves with second-degree murder yesterday. This makes a total of 7 people charged in connection with the death of Nordquist, a transgender man who went missing earlier this month.
And coming up on News Live at 6, the Associated Press is responding to President Trump's blocking their access to presidential events.
And new details in the Eric Adams corruption case. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
You're watching CitrusTV News, live at 6 with Jake Morel, Mike Lamorte, and Sigourney Bell. And now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back. 3 people are dead outside a Kentucky DMV after a shooting. The Louisville Metro Police responded to the shooting this afternoon and found 2 females and a male with gunshot wounds in the parking lot. The male victim was pronounced dead at the scene, while the female victims died after other injuries at the hospital.
The suspects fled the scene after the shooting. Authorities are reviewing surveillance tape and are speaking to witnesses about the potential suspects. This story is still developing as investigations continue.
Over to New York City now, an independent lawyer has been assigned to New York City Mayor Eric Adams' federal corruption case. Judge Dale Ho, who is overseeing the case, appointed a Supreme Court lawyer to present adversarial arguments on the Department of Justice's bid to drop those charges. Judge Ho says it is an unusual move in a criminal prosecution to bring in another lawyer to assist in the court's decision-making.
This comes after Governor Kathy Hochul added guardrails to the mayor's powers yesterday. Those included adding an inspector general, giving the city the power to file lawsuits against the federal government, and expanding oversight of the deputy state controller.
Defense Pete Hegseth says he is preparing for a hiring freeze in addition to firing 8% of the Pentagon civilian workforce. That's over 5,000 people. The cuts will occur over a 5-year period, with 8% being cut over each year, which is estimated to be around $300 billion less in military spending.
The mass firings are aimed at military command in Europe and the Middle East. The Pentagon says it will look to redirect $50 billion from the Biden administration that have gone to what the Trump administration is calling, quote, woke programs.
Now to the latest. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says she's removing the LA Fire Department Chief, Kristen Crowley, a month after the wildfires swept the city. Bass said in her press conference that 1,000 firefighters could have been on duty the morning the fires broke out and were instead sent home.
The Trump administration is planning to give funding to the areas affected by the devastating wildfires, but Trump's special envoy Richard Grenell says there will be strings attached to the aid. Talks about those conditions are still underway.
Over to the Associated Press now. They're suing 3 Trump administration officials over their access to the presidential events, citing freedom of speech concerns there. AP is saying that the White House is controlling speech unconstitutionally.
The publication is asking a federal judge to stop the 10-day block of its journalists. The ban came after they said Gulf of Mexico instead of Gulf of America in a presidential briefing room. President Trump signed an executive order changing the Gulf's name within the United States last month. Trump said Tuesday, quote, "We're going to keep them out until such time as they agree it's the Gulf of America."
And when we come back, I'll have your 5-day forecast as well as a suggestion for a sunny Saturday. Welcome back to News Live at 6. Here is your 5-day forecast. Like I promised, tomorrow is going to be a sunny Saturday, which isn't something we've had in a while. I know I feel like I've been a little sun deprived here lately. It's going to be a high of 35 with a low of 17, so go out there and enjoy the sun. Sunday, that sun won't last. It's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 33 and a low of 24. And my winter suggestion, I know you've all been on the edge of your seat waiting waiting for it is to go out there and enjoy those winter weather activities. Go sledding, go skiing, go snowboarding, maybe even ice skating, because that perfect snow that we have out there right now is not going to last later in the week. On Monday, we're going to get some rain showers, but we are going to get some warmer weather temperatures. So we're going to get a high of 44 with a low of 27, and that's going to continue into Tuesday. More rain with those 40-degree temperatures, a high of 42 and a low of 36. And Wednesday seems to be the perfect Goldilocks day. We're going to keep those high 40-degree temperature weathers, but we're not going to have any of the elements. So no snow, no rain. I don't know about all of you, but I am waiting and excited for Wednesday. And here is my photo of the day. This was taken just outside of Watson Hall. And you can see those people in the picture are excited for Wednesday too, and those warmer weather conditions. Not a ton of big puffy coats going on right now, but it'll be exciting to see and hear what Saturday will have in store for us weather-wise.
You might have swapped out excited for lunacy. The people in central New York, they don't wear coats and they wear shorts. Anyway, Syracuse men's lacrosse, they can wear shorts. They're in the Dome on Saturday. Thank goodness they're back at home. We'll have more on the other side.
Hi, my name is Sadie Miller.
My name is Luke Brady. I go by St. Luke.
So this one I started with this guitar lick.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
There I am. Syracuse men's lacrosse back in the Dome after a bad trip on the road a weekend ago. Welcome to the sports. I'm Ian Nicholas. Top 15 Harvard team does come to the Dome tomorrow. They play a lot different than the team Syracuse just lost to, Maryland. The Terrapins held the Orange to just 7 goals last Saturday. But Harvard, as head coach Gary Gait is about to explain, they like to play a little bit differently. They like to get hot in a hurry.
I think they're very talented offensively. I think if you look at their last couple years, they like to try and outscore teams. I don't think, they're very opportunistic in the midfield area, and they try and make plays, and they can score.
Well, Harvard scored 15 goals in their last game. Problem is their opponent, Colgate, shout out Central New York, scored 19. That's why the Crimson sit at 1-1 instead of 2-0. Joey Spallina leads the nation in points. Sam King for Harvard, third most points per game among active scorers in the nation. You can catch that one at 1 o'clock tomorrow in the Dome. While the men are back at home, the women's lacrosse team, well, they're going to Tobacco Road. Number 2 UNC women's lacrosse is on deck, and the Tar Heels, well, they weren't great last season. Syracuse beat them 20-6 in the Dome, but after that down campaign, UNC is officially all the way back under Hall of Fame head coach Jenny Levy. They're 3-0. Syracuse is 3-0. You see in the bottom left corner of your screen, Ashley Humphrey. She's one of the better players in the country. Her younger sister, Chloe, former #1 overall recruit. She is healthy this season for the Tar Heels. Part of a reason why they kind of stunk the joint up last year. Chloe wasn't healthy. That one, an 11 a.m. start tomorrow from Chapel Hill. You can follow our Milo Hoffman for the coverage. Now, while the women's lacrosse team for the Tar Heels is hosting Syracuse in Chapel Hill, the women's basketball team for UNC, they were actually in the Dome last night. And of course, because UNC seems to be good at everything that they do, that's a top 10 team in the country. Maria Gakdang, she is good at what she does. 21 points in the first half for UNC. That's why they led by double digits at the break. And Syracuse, they kept fighting, though, even though that three-pointer for the Tar Heels made it a 15-point UNC lead. The freshman, Olivia Schmidt, with one of her 3 triples on the game, pulls Syracuse back within single digits. But you got to remember, this is still a top 10 Tar Heels team, and they still got the Gak attack, Maria Gakdang. She finished with a double-double, second chance in his score, and UNC was just running and gunning late in this third quarter, keeping pace with Syracuse, although the Orange pushed the gas in that second half. It did not matter. It didn't matter that Kyra Wood came up with this big shot and banked it in with 5 minutes to go, because 2 minutes later, with the Tar Heels up 8, the dagger from Trey Crisp. Yeah, that's a real name, Trey Crisp. She sealed the deal, 68-58 the final score, guys. UNC took down Syracuse.
All right, now enough about the hardware. Let's go over to the Diamond Spring Training.
Sure.
Baseball is back, but there was a controversial rule that was reversed today for the New York Yankees, their facial hair policy. I'm not excited about that, but what's your opinions?
Well, first of all, it looks like we could be living up to the old policy. We got no facial hair at this desk.
You stole what I was going to say. Look at these 2 handsome faces right here. Maybe we should have that policy at CitrusTV, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I've tried to grow a mustache, it's not a good look. So I think for the Yankees, it'll be interesting to see, some of the players that fans have gotten accustomed without the facial hair. They're going to look really different.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the pinstripes look with the beards. When we come back, we're going to talk about beef and where you can find the best burger. Stick around.
All the beef.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for you.
With the end of CSGO and the release of Counter-Strike 2...
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for your easy consumption.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. Your wake-up weather for tomorrow morning is going to start off a little cloudy, and the sun is going to come out in the late afternoon. We're going to see 19 degrees in the morning and move closer to those 30 degrees later in the day with that sun popping out in the late afternoon. I don't know about you guys, but I am quite excited to see the sun tomorrow.
Oh, I sure am.
Yeah, well, it might not be the best weather to be outside, but you could just be inside and have some burgers. Speaking of beef, did you know that there's a beef council?
I did.
Each year they host the best burger competition to see who has the best burgers in the state. We will see if 7-time winner Syracuse's own Alan Angus can come out with another win this year.
It's a really good spot. I personally, if you're watching this, Beef Council, this is my application. I need to be on the Beef Council. That's awesome.
You need to play some votes.
I need to play some votes. I think that'd be great. I do a lot of burger eating. I feel like I could judge pretty well. What do you guys think? You guys think you could be on a Beef Council?
I just want to. I don't think you can be on that council if you don't do medium rare.
I do medium
Big
rare.
medium rare guy.
Yeah.
Big medium rare.
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
Being from California, the In-N-Out is my go-to burger, and I feel like I've mastered the In-N-Out burger and enjoyed
Five Guys
eating.
is better, but that's all the time we have today on Citrus TV. News Live at 6. I'm Mike Lamorte.
And I'm Jake Morel. Enjoy a burger tonight, Syracuse.